Hi, this is Brandon from ThirstGym.com, and today we're going to talk about an exercise called the L-sit alternating kettlebell overhead press. This is a great overhead pressing exercise for shoulders, upper body strength. However, we're also going to get a lot of abdominal and trunk integration as well. Some key things to make sure we have before we do this exercise is one, good hamstring and lower body mobility. Sitting in an L-sit or a long seated position, we really want to make sure the active straight leg raise or their hamstring mobility is relatively good. If they've got really poor hamstring mobility, we really don't want to do this exercise because we're putting them in a position that they probably don't have, and they're probably going to see some rounding in the lower back. It's going to be harder to get the abdominals to do what they need to do. So this might be an exercise you try to get your athletes to once their hamstring mobility is there. If their hamstring is mobility there, the next thing we want to double check is their shoulder flexion or how much shoulder mobility they have. Someone like me, this is probably not the great exercise. I don't really have the shoulder flexibility to be able to do this, to be in a safe motion. I can definitely do it well for a demonstration purpose, but for training purposes, I personally wouldn't do this exercise. But what's great about it, because we have all the ab integration, then we're going to use those kettlebells to press overhead, which is then going to force us to keep this good and rigid, but still get that upper body strength as well. So what you're going to need is 2 kettlebells for this exercise, a little bit of space. We're going to get in our long seated position. So what that is, literally just the way it sounds, an L sit, our body's going to look like a giant L. So feet are straight out in front of us, my body's up good and tall. As you can tell, I kind of want to round because again, I don't really have as much hamstring mobility as I probably need. I'm pretty close, but I've got to really try to focus on staying tall where I want to kind of be rounded, okay? So first thing is we want to try to stay good and tall. Take the kettlebells in our front rack position. That's going to be hands through the kettlebell. We're going to bring them up into the starting position here. We're going to bring them together, okay? Now this lets me naturally sit up a little bit more tall because the weight's out in front of me. That's a good thing. And so what I'm going to do, I can already feel my abs from this position. Then I'm going to alternate how I press. Now, I'm not just going to go straight up. It's going to have a little bit of a curve. So it's going to go from here, around, and back. It's similar to an Arnold press. That's just how you have to press the kettlebells because of where the majority of the weight is with the balls of the kettlebell, sorry, the bells of the kettlebell are on the outside of our hand. So again, here, hands come together. Now I'm just going to alternatingly press overhead, own the position, and come back. Make sure the other kettlebell is back in the starting position before you go to press overhead. I can feel lots of abs and shoulders and upper body, and then I'm done, okay? So again, alternating fashion, good and tall, kettlebells in that front rack position. Now, when it comes to programming an exercise like this, we already kind of discussed the hips and the shoulder demands. So you got to have a relatively good moving athlete or client before I'd recommend doing this, just to be on the safe side. The next thing is, because of that position, we're probably going to go with 6 to 8 reps per side in most cases. Every now and then I'll give athletes 10 if I feel like they're relatively advanced. They're not in season. We want to try to put some size on them. This is a great way to make some good quality changes, abdominal strength, but the number one reason I like this exercise for athletes that can do it is that it keeps them strict on their overhead press. It doesn't shove us into that super extended position to reach overhead. By having that other kettlebell here out in front of us, that's going to help keep our ribs down. We're going to keep, again, our abdominals engaged, and then we can press overhead on the other side. And as we alternate, obviously, we're going to get some good quality rib cage mechanics there as well. So again, probably anywhere from 2 to 4 sets, 6 to 8 reps per side is kind of the sweet spot. If you got any questions, let me know in the comment sections below. Thanks. Have a great day.